Here's more with The Rob Dibble Show.
Oh, yeah. Now that's some good music right there.
Oh, man.
Not Myrtle Beach.
I thought you were going to start with Destiny's Child.
No.
Survivor.
Bono. Guano.
So,
Here we go.
And when we do Who You Got, you should have your pencils and papers out, and you should write them down.
Keep score?
Just off the top of my head, one that I know of from last week, the all of us picking Giants thing.
Did I pick the Giants?
We all picked the Giants.
Damn it.
We all picked the Giants. That
You
was
know I'm a
hilarious.
terrible picker.
Kurt, though, on his Survivor pick, and this is why I thought we were going to come in with Destiny's Child, I'm a Survivor, is because old Curtis Kaplan, the only man I know on the planet left alive in a Survivor pool setting when it comes to NFL pick'em week to week. If you don't know the rules of the game, you pick a winner each week and you can't use the same team twice. Kurt had Baltimore. Oh.
And they were in trouble.
Action Jackson.
Lamar
going
Jackson,
down.
bad knee, he's done.
Let me see if I can find the actual quote from Kurt, but was not that
I don't think it was
enthused.
panic. I think it was just, I'm not looking good or something like we're sinking.
Nerves was what it was, Dibs. Definite
The
nerves.
sub's going down.
I'm like, yeah, it's over. It's finally over.
Mayday, mayday. No,
My
man,
Survivor
never
pick.
over.
Unlucky 13, all that. I was thinking, everything.
Yeah. My Survivor pick is in serious trouble. With Action Jackson out of the game, I almost went New York Jets over Minnesota. That ain't looking good either.
Oh, God, no. I never would have let you pick the Jets over Minnesota. They're good.
What happened in that
home.
Houston-Cleveland game? What happened in that game? I forgot about that game. I just know the Boo Birds were out for old Deshaun Watson. Let
Still
me
the
get the
Texans.
final score. Yeah, they still beat the Texans. You could have went with the Deshaun Watson comeback tour, and you would have been
Yeah, because I
Lot
did not
safer.
utilize them prior
so.
in the 12 weeks.
Jackson goes away, and you're left with the Broncos with the lead, and old Huntley coming in, which Huntley has come in before for Jackson last year, and he's done just
Pretty
what he
good,
did
man.
last. He is very good.
quarterback.
I wasn't more worried about you, Kurt, than I was Lamar Jackson's contract future with Huntley coming in, because if Huntley can prove that he can, not at the same clip, but he can still win you some football games in a different form of fashion like Lamar does, I think it dings up the contract negotiation on Lamar's side a little bit.
It does, because Lamar's questionable to be there for all the games.
But the thing that you were betting on, that you were for sure, and it had nothing to do with Lamar, was how bad the Denver Broncos are.
Yes.
And how bad
We
their
all know they're
offense
bad,
is,
yeah.
how bad their coach is, how bad they are with game management, clock management, football management. They had the lead. They're looking like they were going to smoke Baltimore, even with Lamar Jackson, and somehow just forgot to play offense at the end of that football game. Like, just three. They love their punter. Does the punter get like an extra? Does the team get an extra bonus per punt? Maybe that's what's going on here. But
you figured it out.
I'm
have
trying to
stumbled
figure
upon
something
it.
out.
Brilliant.
The Broncos they're a bigger tease than that U.S. men's national soccer team. They're a humongous tease every single week for these poor Bronco fans. The Orange Crush is crushing themselves right now. And Wilson, like, I watched the game. I don't. He's not bad.
He's not bad.
He's not bad
I
at
think
all.
he doesn't have a great supporting cast. A lot of
Nobody.
injuries.
The defense is good. The defense is. I actually like their kicker. I actually like this McManus guy. He's kind of likable.
That's a huge compliment.
Way.
coming from
Huge
you.
compliment from me.
Huge coming from you.
But to lose the games the way they've lost some games,
Snatching defeat from the jaws of victory.
do they know they can score more than 10 points? Do they know that that's allowed? But, Kurt, you did it again. You picked the right survivor.
10-9 is, wow. I heard the score from a local basketball game was 15-14. More like a football game.
This is a baseball game. This is a baseball
That
score.
was some slim pickings right there, 10-9.
But great job, Kurt. You survive. You move on. We can't wait for the pick on Week 14 that should be coming to us on Friday.
I'm a god.
Now, Dibs, I don't know why. I don't know why you thought the women's basketball team would come within 30 points of this, or I should say the Providence basketball team should even sniff anything that's happening at UConn. Blowout Central. Still waiting for the competition, Big East. Still waiting. Good thing Notre Dame's not in the Big East anymore. We did not pick this game based upon fear that we don't want to give any kind of bad vibes to this program whatsoever. So we hate picking women's basketball around here when it comes to our ladies over there at UConn. But a successful weekend when it comes to our show. Kurt and I had faith on a 35.5-point spread, and we went with our Lady Huskies right there.
Over Providence.
Yes, over Providence, not over Notre Dame. That's a different story. Top 4 upset was the next pick we made on Friday, and we're talking college football playoffs, so we haven't even gotten into this yet, fellas. We've already been through an hour in the show, and we haven't mentioned the 2 upsets and the Ohio State that gets into the CFP.
And not Alabama.
Now, it started off Friday night. If you listen to this show and you listen on Thursdays, you should listen to Brandon Lang tell you what's going to happen in sports, but more importantly, college football. He is on college football this year more than anyone. Totally nailed Utah beating USC. Yep. Said it's most likely going to be a blowout. Now, a injury or two that he did not foresee really made that come to fruition early. They lose. They get bounced. Dibs.
47-24. It was a blowout.
It was a blowout. Now, it was a championship game in a neutral field. Their other losses to the same team, the 2 losses. That's the obvious. Like, should I say no more as far as them getting bounced over Ohio State?
Well, Ohio State didn't lose the conference championship. They lost the last regular season game to Michigan.
Number 2 team.
Were blown out, though, by Michigan, but it's only one loss.
At home.
So do you look at USC's schedule versus Ohio State? And I would. And who Ohio State beat and have to play.
Good point.
I still put Ohio State in there.
I'm with you on that.
I think USC falls to 6 or 7, and then you've got Alabama sitting at 6.
One of the best games on Saturday, I thought, was that Kansas State TCU game. And it went
absolutely.
Just if you don't know about this quarterback, Duggan, you need to watch college football playoff because a lot of people aren't giving TCU any kind of shake against Michigan. If they do win, it will be on the shoulders of this quarterback. Like, this dude is laying it all out on the line. I don't know what ailment he had when he was crossing the goal line to finally tie it up, scoring that 2-point conversion to tie it up. If it's broken ribs or something, or maybe he was just milking it because he's watched a lot of World Cup lately. Maybe. But that kid's special. I just love the story of them. And they lost to Kansas State in overtime.
Yep.
Happy for the Wildcats, too. Kansas State and their young quarterback that they brought in with
Will
Martinez Howard played awesome. And to see that relationship between Martinez and Howard, where they're both happy for each other's success, both came because of the coach, and both now conference champions because they set their, crybaby stuff aside that they never really had. But happy for Kansas State to get the win. But TCU lost, Dibs. TCU lost. How did they still get the 4 seed?
Well, because it was such a close game, and like you said, Duggan is such an amazing two-way player. He rushed for 110 yards on 15 carries and a touchdown. His longest was a 40-yard scamper. Like you said, he'll give up his body. But TCU with 1 loss, and I'm not going by what Phil Simms' son said over the weekend, that there's no way that TCU could beat even a middle-of-the-road SEC team.
I don't believe that either.
I think fans don't want to see all these SEC teams in the championship every year. And so when it gets to 8 or 12 teams, and 12 teams in a couple of years that's going to be, that's fine. Put as many SEC teams as you want. But right now, I think a lot of teams want to see a Big 12 team in there.
And my argument is they're so much more deserving than an Alabama 2-loss team.
Oh, God.
Alabama's lost 2 games. That should be enough. But the TCU program and what they've been able to do and accomplish, even losing that last game in overtime. I mean, you're telling me you're going to take away a team that lost by 3? Like, not only lost just 1 game, but lost by 3, and it was in overtime in a conference championship. I mean, that just wouldn't be right in the world of all things wrong in college football.
TCU
anyway.
blew out Oklahoma back in October 55-24.
Yeah.
Then they beat Kansas, both top 25 ranked teams.
At the time, yeah.
Then they beat Oklahoma State, a top 10 ranked team. It took a couple overtimes there. Then they beat Kansas State. They were ranked 17th, and then they beat Texas, who was ranked 18th later in the season. And so their only loss is Kansas State in the conference championship. So I think that the commission and these people did the right thing.
I totally agree.
Because I know that everybody thought, even Tim Brando, that they would put Alabama in there.
Yeah.
I'm happy that they didn't. And I don't think Nick Saban is disappointed. I think he's probably happy that there's some new blood in there.
The way I look at the how it shook out is I could see your argument that you put Ohio State 3 versus TCU, but then we got Ohio State, Michigan in the first round, man.
We don't want to see that again.
I don't, unless it's the national championship game, which that could possibly happen. I don't see it happening, but it could possibly happen again. And then the other thing for Georgia, having a beef of, well, we'd rather play TCU at a 4 instead of Ohio State as a 3. Georgia, you're getting a home game. You're playing in the Peach Bowl in Atlanta. Like, it shouldn't be whoever, man. You're the number 1 team. We only got 4 of them. I think it works out perfect that Ohio State has to come play you at home. I mean,
Absolutely. Honestly, I mean, I think Michigan beats TCU. What do you think?
Yes.
It's going to be a tough one. But
yes,
if they don't,
but I would not
Georgia,
be
Ohio
shocked.
State is like a national championship. So you're really getting 2 national championship games.
Purdue didn't get run out of the building in the Big Ten championship, and Illinois was a play away from beating Michigan. Yeah, they came to play against Ohio State, and maybe they were overlooking Illinois, and maybe the running back situation with them and missing the defensive tackle. You still got to factor that in. Honestly, looking at this matchup, Georgia's to lose. Like, Georgia's just head and shoulders above everybody in this whole country, and we knew that when they beat the brakes off of Oregon week 1. We were saying that. Now, when it comes to our picks, Dibs, you didn't go on much of a limb, but you were right. Take the points with Utah over USC. Now, I don't know if that's some Southern California hate in your system. Maybe so.
No, listen, I love SC, and we'll have Rodney Pete on later this week.
Yeah, we should have Pete on, man. See what he thinks about this selection and how that's. Listen, house money with them, by the way. Don't cry for me, Trojans. Like, you guys had a great season. Great season. Kurt did say those Horned Frogs are probably going to get knocked off in the Big 12 championship.
Oh, yeah.
You, sir, were on the money.
That should have been your survivor pick.
Could have been. Could have been. I was thinking spoiler makers with the Purdue and Michigan game, and I was wrong. The other thing that we did do, but we haven't talked about yet today, and I don't even know if it deserves talk. Tyson Fury won his fight, and we all picked that.
Tyson Fury pummeled that dude.
First time we've all agreed, and it's been right in a long time, but it's not a fight, man. It was a bad fight.
I don't think the heavyweight division is what it used to be, and I think Tyson Fury recognizes that. And fighting that dude for a 3rd time because you're bored.
Because you're bored.
I don't think it's because he's bored. He wants to stay relevant. I think he's trying to say, hey, anybody who wants to fight me next, I'm out here. He looked great, too. He dropped some LBs. He was 240. The other guy was 260. The other guy was short and stumpy.
But when you pair up that fight card versus what happened in the UFC over the weekend, oh my!
Did you see Holland's hand?
Oh, Hollins and Thompson had said the fight of the night. I'd say fight of the year, maybe fight of the decade. John A., who's just part of the crew, said, "Man, did you see that fight yesterday?"
Yeah.
Told me Sunday. I did not see the fight. I had to go find it last night, Sunday night. Whew. I mean, just trading blows from the first bell and knockout shots that a lot of people would have dropped from. But these guys went toe to toe. Thompson comes out as the victor. You saw his face today on an Instagram post that he made.
Not pretty.
He's happy about it, though. He was all smile. He looks like Sloth from Goonies. His face has been rearranged in a diagonal kind of way. The right side's a lot swollen. The left lip is kind of drooping. Well, man, he had the best time on Saturday and can't wait to do it again.
Well, Kevin Holland's not fighting anytime soon. He has 3 or 4 broken bones, fingers. He's got all kinds of surgery coming up. And those are from the kicks, him trying to block Thompson's kicks. The kid can kick he should be on Team USA.
Yes, he should have. I thought that same thing. Maybe a little roundhouse bicycle kick would have done the trick.
Throw that kid a soccer ball. See how he kicks it.
So true. But that was, and then the heavyweight boys. When we were watching the previews, and I was telling, God, I'm so bad at my UFC names. I'm sorry.
Tua Vaisa.
Yes.
Pavlich.
Tua. He's another Tua.
Tai Tui.
He drinks the beer out of the shoe. Well, he wasn't doing that this
No.
past Saturday night.
Pavlich. He was drinking it out of his jock.
Dude, that guy,
17-1.
he is.
Sergey.
Oh, he has lost. I didn't know.
Yeah.
I thought he was 17-0. But that dude is something I don't want to have any part of. Like, this is a heavyweight,
I told you, he looks like Drago in Rocky 4.
plus 100 pounds.
But he's a
of
real
muscle.
fighter.
Oh, yeah. It's no acting.
This
This is no acting. Like, the bell rang, and that dude was just throwing right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left. And Ty went down, like tried to in a crouch position, tried to cover himself up, thought he would reach up and maybe catch him once or twice, but had no room to breathe. It was as far as heavyweight fights go, very one-sided. And how do you say a guy's name that won?
Pavlovich.
That guy is
Sergey
he's special.
Pavlovich, and guess where he's from? Dan Orlovsky, Russia. He's from Orlovsky, Russia. Awesome. It figures.
Always comes back to
Russian.
Connecticut somehow, some way.
3 degrees of Yukon.
But that was an excellent fight card.
That was a fun
Yeah.
weekend. We didn't even talk about Deion Sanders. Deion Sanders leaving Jackson
Oh, my
State.
gosh,
Going to
prime
Colorado.
time.
You got to go watch some video. Some of the things that he said, though, is spot on. That this isn't just a job to him, it's a calling, and I believe that. I've known him a long time,
Yes.
and he's trying to get these kids to another level, and I think he started with Jackson State, and what he started there, he's going to continue to Colorado. I don't think Colorado's his end point. I think I think eventually he winds up in the NFL or at a huge, maybe an SEC job, but this guy's in it for the long haul.
I'm a little bit sore about just him leaving Jackson State. I think that the attention that HBCU's got in the last couple of
Right.
years in the world of football has been monumental. With him getting that 5-star cornerback, that was changing the game,
Yep.
changing the landscape of college football. Well deserved. I don't want to take anything away from him or some of the kids that he's going to bring up there to Colorado. You know me, I have a lot of Colorado friends that work for that
I do too.
university,
Yep.
and I'm very happy for them. They didn't think this was going to be possible. The game has changed, though, today. Like, loved how he showed up and told them straight up, listen, there's going to be a different standard. If you can't handle it, transfer.
Right. This is the reality. He doesn't pull any punches.
I would not be surprised if Colorado wins the Pac-12 in 2 years.
I would not either. I don't count Deion out on anything. When they told him he couldn't play baseball, he made himself into a baseball player, and so God bless him, and hopefully he does well at Colorado.
I do like what he said, and it's piggybacking off what you said. Like, I'm a little heartbroken because I love my Shaws, my UNC Pembrokes, all the HBCUs I got around. It is a special atmosphere, especially in the game of football on Saturdays. But he was, his calling of doing something great down there in a place that nobody knew about. And I loved what he said because it did kind of, warm my heart a little bit more, that his calling is not a location, it's a destination.
That's right.
And I was like,
Yep.
how can you be mad at this guy now?
You can't. You can't.
He's a good dude, man.
He's a great dude. One of my
Happy for
favorite all-time
Colorado.
teammates and friends.
Yep.
Great guy. All right, another great guy and a great friend to our show, and he covers the Bengals, and they had another big win last night over the Kansas City Chiefs. Mike Petraglia, Trags from CLNS Media. He joins us next on the Rob Dibble Show. Let's talk some NFL and maybe as a comment or two on some of these big free agent MLB signings. The huge Reds and Red Sox. He covered them for 20 years. So Mike Petraglia joins us next on the Rob Dibble Show with Ben Darnell.